did.
What do you mean?
If I didn't have TikTok, I would be doing nothing right now. I'd just be hanging out, like, like my life wouldn't really be special. Like it'd just be, I wouldn't have a hobby. I wouldn't have something to get into. I'd just be going to work at the reservation center and then leaving.
What were you doing before this?
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Like you're just working at the parks and you're like
working and going to have a Mickey bar every day at the parks and
right.
That's it.
Wow, that's crazy. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Slice of Life podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. We bring on guests. We slice them up. We talk about the perspective of life. And if you don't know this familiar face, she's back. Samantha Longton, how are you doing today?
I am good.
Yeah?
I'm glad to be back. I'm surprised you let me just come on and do this again.
Girl, dude, I told you I was gonna people loved what you had to say, and I honestly appreciate you coming back. So thanks for coming on. I'm gonna cheers with the water right now.
Yes.
I should have got you some coffee.
Love
too.
a nice water. Cheers. I'll just drink it now.
Well, I'm gonna drink some coffee because it's the morning.
Amazing, incredible, nice crisp morning water.
I know, right?
There's nothing better than water in the morning.
Dude,
like when you wake up and you're like, oh,
so refreshing, right?
So good.
But let's see. How are you? How since the last time you were here was like what? It was October, I think, or September. How? Let my audience know what you've been up to. How is Sam, pretty much?
Oh wow,
That's a very hefty question, right?
I know.
Yeah.
A lot has happened. It's what I was saying before we started recording. TikTok has literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Since the last time we chatted, I think I was just doing like, the small things,
Right.
like small businesses and stuff. Since then, I now work with 4 different marketing agencies in Orlando.
Right.
And they kind of set up activities and things for me to do, which is super cool. It gives me like a ton of opportunities to kind of explore the area and work and get lots of like not only networking, but like real life experience when it comes to creating content and wanting to do that as like a career.
Right.
So yeah, I've worked with a lot of really cool places like Discovery Cove and Margaritaville, and then their little like promenade sunset walk kind of Disney Springs related area.
Yes.
And I started working more with like people that I've had before, and working more regularly with them. So it's been a lot of fun. Like I'm so thankful that it's like still going, and I'm very surprised.
Honestly,
that's still going.
I love that. I see your TikTok. I see everything that you're putting out. I see how much content and all these different new places, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing slacking over here? Like it's like if that doesn't motivate your ass to get up and do something, like what are you doing? And that's honestly, I think that's why I think we're really good friends, because I think you really do inspire not just me, but a lot of people to do like go do stuff. And like you were saying, like before TikTok, you were like, I'm just gonna go to the parks, and I was like, no, I think you found your I guess I wouldn't say calling, but it's like it's something you're really good at. You know how to like sell it, and I'm just like, anybody that doesn't know who Sam is, go to her TikTok and just go see all these wonderful places around Orlando. You're going to pretty much be going everywhere after like Orlando. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope. One of my teams that I work with, they were telling me that like they know like influencers that are getting like full like trips to like Turks and Caicos, and I'm like, what? Like, when can that be me one day? Like,
listen,
I want that to happen.
That's so awesome right there. The fact that you like get to do that. Okay, so what are the companies that you've been going with, and like what do they kind of like get you to do when it comes to that stuff?
Yeah.
While you do that, I'm gonna go get my charger because A just said I had battery low.
Oh no. Yeah, I work with We Are Winter Garden. And then I also work with Go See the City, and a couple others are Ally Global Marketing and Hayworth PR. Some of them have big clients, some of them are small business, so it's a lot of fun. It's cool being able to be like a little bit more versatile and be able to still cover small businesses and then cover like the big companies too, because it kind of gives you that experience and like just seeing the differences between them, and then also seeing like, I don't know, getting the experience, I guess. I've had a ton of fun with all of them. Like, it's unreal how much fun I've had and like how incredibly thankful I am that
Yeah.
this is like actually happening. It's crazy.
We talked about last time. We talked about a little bit of how it got started, and you said you just brought up a little bit of like I love exploring more than what I think you were kind of alluding to Disney a little bit.
Yeah.
And you said it was what was the first one again? Like what was that first video? It was like because you said it was you tried to do Disney content and you
Yeah.
were just like it wasn't selling. Maybe 1 or 2 videos did good, and then you're like I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go do something different.
Yeah.
So is that how it went?
Yeah. I mean, my first one wasn't even a business. It was Ginny Springs.
Oh.
And that one was horrific. And even like listening back on my old voiceovers, they were so boring. Like I'd be like, today I went to Crooked Can.
Yeah.
And like breathing into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like people listened to me like that, and people liked the stuff that I put out. And like now, like I try to be a little bit more personable and like excited because like, you know, exploring Orlando and seeing all these things, like, it's exciting.
Right.
It's cool.
Right.
And it's just so funny because the beginning videos I have like zero passion for saying anything. Like it's just like the most vanilla, like just like I went here today and it was really good. Like I had a great time.
Right.
And I'm like, why didn't I not put like a personality behind that voice? Because that's so boring. But it worked, but still, it's just kind of crazy.
So what was the indicator? How did that change right there where you were like, I think this is what's working? Is it because you were seeing other TikToks?
No, I just like whenever I make stuff, I kind of want to see how I can change and make the next one better or make it a little bit more personable. And like something that I realized too is like, you know, you don't want to be boring when you're like talking over things because like people are going to think that like people aren't going to care. So I don't know. I just kind of like switched it up and started like being a little bit more excited because it's exciting. And like I wanted actually like personality behind it, you know, and try to like gear it that way. And it definitely helped a lot with gaining more like traction and more followers and stuff for sure.
I'm telling you that sticked. I see Denise's how she added that little country accent to it. I love it. Mitch's also his is actually like kind of like I like his. Like his are really funny. But I could see how you've rubbed off on them a little bit. They started doing it like their voices kind of adding a little character to it. And I think that's I think it works. There's like a formula there that kind of works with that. Especially when you go to these places, like I think for me, I haven't tried it yet. But see, it's just you know we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, Sam, I just want to say thank you for coming on again. You know, this is awesome. Obviously, we were like thinking about doing another episode, and you were like, let's talk about Valentine's Day. You were like, all right, let's do like a Valentine's Day special right here. Like, first of all, like, what made you think of that? What was going on?
I don't know. Valentine's Day is coming up, and it's like one of those things where you know people put such an emphasis on like being in a relationship during Valentine's Day, and being a single person on Valentine's Day. It's just kind of like, let's get that take.
Let's
you
get that
know?
singles
Let's
take
chat
right here.
about being single on Valentine's Day and how it's okay. I promise, everyone's gonna be okay. I'm good. You know, I love me on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I saw your post. It was on Facebook.
Oh my.
And I was like, I already saw a bunch of other people putting it on and stuff. And I was laughing because I was like, wait, who's... You just kept putting all your information on there. I was just like, all right, that's a little cute. I get it.
I was dying, like, because I just see like the couples and they're like, here's the couples challenge. Like, we've been together for 4 years and we like our first date was at Denny's, and I'm like, oh cool. Like, you know, I can't do that. Like, who am I with? And I was like, oh, myself. Okay. So I was like, I think one of my first ones was like, where did you meet? And I was like, St. Peter's Hospital.
20 something years ago.
Yeah, it was like, where was your first date? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's been so long, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure my mom drove. just playing around with it because it's funny.
No, it's funny. I was laughing. I was like, man, this girl is just cracking herself up. I love it.
Yeah, I was laughing when I was making it. I was like, am I trying to be funny right now? And
it was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to be funny.
I was here for it, but yeah. I don't know.
That's so awesome. Freaking, what were you doing that time last year? Like, what was it? Were you...
Valentine's Day last year?
Yeah. If you just think, because that was pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic Valentine's Day. Last year, I wore a really cute outfit.
Okay.
I got reservations at...
Still single?
Still single. I've never had a relationship Valentine's Day. How crazy is that? I'm shocked too.
That
I'm
made
just
me
kidding.
think. No, that made me think for me. I was like, wait, maybe one. But that was like high school.
Yeah,
Jesus.
we did Valentine's Day, so like we went to
see.
Epcot and had like reservations and stuff like that
Yeah.
last year. But every year, usually my dad sends me like chocolate or like flowers or something.
Yeah.
Usually my dad's my Valentine,
Oh, okay.
or I'm my Valentine,
Oh, okay.
and I just do a little treat yourself kind of day.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna probably spend more money than I should, but that's okay because like whatever.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Like why not? So. A Valentine's Day is kind of interesting. You know, like I said, I've never actually had a Valentine, so I don't like put much emphasis on
it.
And like yeah, but I do kind of treat it like a self-care day because like you see everybody and they're like, oh, been together for 13 years and
Can't
13
relate.
more, and I'm like, oh my god.
And we're not saying that if you're in a relationship, you don't care about yourself. Self-care and all that stuff. We're just saying like it's a great way for singles to say why are you still single? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No. But no, I totally understand that. I mean, my time last year, we were just having fun. I went to we went out swing dancing, and we got all dressed up in our little what did we wear? I was wearing like high trousers, and dude, that's just my look. I love wearing that stuff, and like she goes and makes her own dresses, and so it was an aesthetic. But this was pre-pandemic, so we can't really do that anymore. But
It's true.
yeah. But in the case of a lot of singles, what would you say is like something that they should do, like singles?
Oh, it's kind of, I mean, everyone stresses like the whole Valentine's Day situation. I'm all for Valentine's Day, like brunch. One of the things that I love that people are doing is like the Valentine's Day photo shoots, and they set up like whole photo shoots in their houses and like do like heart balloons and like make it all like cute. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's kind of smart. So like kind of fun. I mean, just hang out with your friends. I think Denise and I are going to hang out and get a heart-shaped pizza. That's gonna be it.
That's gonna be cute.
Be it for
That's gonna be
us.
cute.
Yeah, she's my Valentine. And so it's, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where it's okay to be single on Valentine's
It's
Day.
okay.
Just chill
I mean,
out.
yeah, I think it's just even not just Valentine's Day. I think it's also the holidays that it gets to people. Like it gets to them around like Thanksgiving time, and they're like, I need to be with somebody, or it's like you know, they have that person for that specific time, and then once they kind of like start realizing like, oh, self-care, like I need to improve on myself, goodbye. And it's like I think Valentine's is like the cutoff.
Yeah.
It could be very wrong.
But you know, thinking about it too, like dating in this day and age is so hard. I think dating is hard. I think dating is so hard.
I know we talked about this outside of the podcast. What do you mean?
I think that personally, I think that it's not the way things like used to like traditionally be, where like someone would meet somebody and then they would date and like just see that person.
Right.
Now we have all these tools like Hinge and Bumble and Tinder and my DMs. No, and like that you have so many options to where like sometimes people can't like focus on like settling down and dating somebody and getting to know somebody because they're like, well, let me feel out all of these other options.
Right.
And like that's totally cool. That's completely fine. And it works out too. Like say, you know, this guy breaks my heart. Okay, well, I'm gonna go on Hinge tonight and meet 6 more. So like it's one of those things where it's kind of like a benefit, but it's also kind of like part of me wishes those apps didn't really exist, because then, you know, you wouldn't feel like you have, I mean, it's always good to have options, but like you wouldn't feel like you could always be getting somebody else. Like I feel like some people have that mindset where they're like, they have someone that's great, but then they're like, but what else can I get out there?
Let me ask you, do you feel like there's one person that can fulfill everything?
No.
I agree. So the reason I say that is just because it's an old mindset thing where I think it was influenced by, I don't know, you could say the government, religion. You can use any example, but even our parents, they would think this is like the right kind of way. But I don't know. I don't think, obviously this is why like we need each other as people. We need each other because we grow together and then grow apart, because and it just keeps going that way. So I would assume it's the same way with relationships. I think.
I think that was like me. I mean, when I was in college, I like refused to settle down, and I was like, I'm
Okay.
gonna I'm gonna just date a bunch of people and like
Right.
kind of and I'm very glad that I did that because it gives you experience with being able to just date around and meet people and have it be fun. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to settle down with somebody, especially when you're in college. That's I would not be able to date somebody in college. It's not for me.
It's
Um,
yeah.
it's
Try long distance
just
too.
not it.
Jesus Christ. I
Not
don't
it.
know. Respect and kudos to you guys. I can do that, but I can't. No,
Mm-mm.
it's like.
No.
But who knows? Maybe that could change. But I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is, what do you think are the deciding factors for that? Why do you think people like don't? They don't want to settle. Or like, is it? I want to say it's a pro, but also it's also a con. So it's like I want to get both sides of that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me anyway, it's like now more than ever, people are waiting longer to have kids, are waiting, so it's like when I look at it that way, it's like I think it's a selfish way to look at it, but it's a great way to look at it. So you can look at it as a good and a bad thing because people are actually wanting to go do things, start that business that you want, start that whatever. And I think that's where I'm going with it. If you can try to finish that, I think I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorta.
I mean, I get phone calls from my mom all the time, and she's like, when are you going to settle down? When am I going to have grandchildren? And I said, probably not till after I'm 30. Like, it's not going to be it for me.
Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the youngest. I know.
She doesn't have grandkids yet. I mean,
Grandkids yet.
thank my brother. He had 2 kids. So my parents have their.
I'm like, put the stress on John and Dylan. Like, have them have kids. But I, like, I think for me personally is I know I have a lot of life to live
Right.
before I settle down.
Right.
And that's kind of like the mentality behind like kind of exploring your options with like other people. And not wanting to commit and settle down
Right.
because, we're still so young that like, what if you decide to commit to the wrong person? And I think that's okay if you want to keep your options open. Like I'm never going to be upset with somebody for keeping their options open.
Right.
So because, you never know like who would actually like make that click for you.
Right.
And then also like right now, like I said, like we're still so young, like I can't see myself getting married until after 30. There's no chance. Like it's just not it. Like there's so many things I want to do myself. And like, I'm very like business and career driven right now that like I am focused on doing all that kind of stuff. And I don't put a lot into like being in a relationship.
Right.
Just because
What was your longest relationship?
Can I tell you a secret?
Well, okay. This is on and it's live. So
this is a secret.
Okay, so she's telling us the secret, guys.
I've never been in a relationship.
Did you catch that?
I've never had a boyfriend. I did.
All right.
So kind of, I mean, there is like, I think back when I first moved here a while ago, I like dated this guy for a little bit of time and then
the DCP life, it's the
that kind of thing.
Yeah, the old times.
And he knew that I'd never dated anybody. And he was like, we had talked for maybe like 2 months, maybe 2.5, almost 3. And he was like, I want to be your first boyfriend. I want to set the bar high for you and like make you like experience like what love is like. And I was like, oh
wow.
my God. I was like, what, me? And I was like, okay, sure.
That
and
worked.
So I said, yeah. I said, count me in, sign, like, where's the contract? Do I sign here? Like, what do I do? And he was like,
sign the contract,
sign my life away. And so literally a week later, he was like, I shouldn't have asked you to be my girlfriend. I was too drunk. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he dumped me that night. That was a rough breakup. Like, but that's like kind of the only relationship I don't really count it too, because it was literally a week. Like that doesn't matter. And I remember the night that he dumped me too. This is one of my favorites. It was so bad. It was over text. It was a text message that was like, Sam, I think you're really great. But
That's where it starts.
I have a lot going for me in my life right now, and a relationship is just not it. I was too drunk when I asked you to be my girlfriend. That kind of stuff. And then I remember calling him, and I was like, like, where did this come from? Because literally the night before he was like, I like you so much and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, is everything like, do I just like forget that like you said all those things? And like, do I forget that like we were ever like a thing? And he goes, he on the phone just goes, oh my God, Sam, I finally understand it now. And I was like, what? And he goes, you have no friends, you have no family, you have nobody, and you only have me, and you're dependent on this relationship, Sam, and that's so sad. And I was like, this is probably the worst breakup of history of time. History of time. You ever get broken up with and then have him tell you that you have no friends and no family, no support system, and that you're dependent?
Like it was your fault.
And I was like, what? And then I found out it was just like because he was talking to somebody else.
Yeah, it most
I was
likely
like, all
is.
right, well, there you go. But like, here's the like, that was just like interesting. I feel like people are really weird nowadays when it comes to dating.
Yeah. It's not even just that. Like I that's a big thing on that. Mm-hmm. Even just the concept of like asking people out and the process of getting into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets very difficult for people now because I mean, you grew up in New York, right? Mm-hmm. And would you say it's different than like dating up there than it was over here?
No, it was worse.
It was worse?
Oh my God, it was way worse.
Well, how so?
And there was nobody there. You know what I mean? It was just, it wasn't really, nobody was really that like special, you know? It's just kind of like boring. Yeah. It was very boring dating.
Yes.
In New York.
It was, no one thought like me back over there in Texas. Like mm-hmm. I knew, I was like, man, everybody was getting married at 20, 19. Not everybody, but like all the girls are being nurses, all the guys are going to the oil field, and I'm like, I don't want to do any of that shit. Right. Like I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, I don't want to be here. And no disrespect to any of like my friends or family, like I love them to death. I just mm-hmm. know it was like, this isn't me. Like I know if I stay here, I'm gonna, and that's what got me out of it. Like that's what got me to push myself to come over here to Florida. It was like. Mm-hmm. Getting out of this relationship, and I was like, oh, all right, get myself back in shape, go start like going back to school, and then I came over here and never looked back, and yeah. I thought that was the best thing in my life.
Can I relate to that? Literally with my entire soul. Literally. If I lived in New York right now, I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know who I'd be dating. I would probably be living the most vanilla lifestyle of my entire life. Like exactly. It would just be so like boring. I think when I was in New York, I was an auditor, so especially having that job, right. I would have the lamest life ever. Right. So like leaving my hometown and going here, it was probably the smartest thing I've ever done. But
smartest, but it's the best thing, honestly. Like you look back and you're like, I don't even think I can look. I can't imagine myself being over there anymore. Yeah, I hate saying it like that, but I do love Texas. I do love my family. I'm gonna go visit. Yeah, visit. That's the key word. I'm probably settle there whenever I'm like retiring, whatever. But visit. That's the best way to put it.
I think when it comes to dating here, though, you just meet more interesting people, and like it's just a bigger pool of like people who actually live their life, you know, people who actually left their hometown and they're here. Not that there's anything wrong with staying in your hometown. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. But like here, it's all people who have a story of why they're here. Like everyone has an Orlando story. Like I came to Orlando because blah, but a lot of them are, I came to Orlando because Disney. Mm-hmm.
Like I've met some really passionate people when it comes to Disney, and I'm like, dude, y'all are doing the best. Like honestly.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You find people who are passionate.
Exactly.
Here.
That's what I mean.
You know, but there are, like I said, those apps can be a little dangerous when it comes to meeting people here too.
What do you mean?
I got catfished. Like
so I know this is what we were going to talk about. I think this is where you were going.
Catfish.
Yeah. So what happened?
Okay. I met this guy. He.
Sure it was a guy?
Literally, now at this point, no. He was literally the most perfect human being ever.
He's a specimen.
He was like very attractive. He played guitar, which like I'm a huge music person, so if he can play guitar, I'm like, oh my god. And so he was really sweet. Whatever. He would like send me videos of himself playing guitar.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. So you got catfished. So he got videos of this guy that was playing guitar.
He would send me videos of himself in his house playing guitar, so I thought it was like legit. And like he had an Android, which like you know what? I hate it when I have that, it's not the little blue text message. If it's the green, it's not for me. Usually that's when I dip. But so we were like messaging back and forth for a while. And we had plans to hang out. And one day he sent me a picture on his phone of him playing guitar.
Again?
And it was just a picture of him.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I was like, why would he just send me a picture of him playing guitar when we've been talking for like 2 weeks? And why wouldn't he just ask me for my Snapchat or something? And I was like, maybe I'll see if he has a Snapchat, whatever.
Hey.
So
What's
I
your
said,
Snapchat?
let's do a little research. So I didn't want to make it obvious that I searched for him on Snapchat. So I jumped onto my phone. And you know how you have like the quick ad thing?
Yes.
So I was looking through the quick ad and I saw his, his number, but the name linked to it was
not the same.
It was like Marissa or something, like Marissa 18, whatever. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, you know what, people, that happens. Like people get their whatever, like their number linked to the wrong Snapchat all the time.
Right.
Like that's a thing. So I was like, okay, it wasn't a huge red flag to me.
But it was a cause for concern.
It was a cause for concern.
Oh, Marissa, whoever you are.
Marissa, I don't know. So then I was like, okay, let me start doing a little bit of research here. He said he was a teacher, a 10th grade biology teacher. And he said he was a lacrosse coach. And he even told me the school district that he taught at. So
They teach lacrosse in 10th grade.
Or he's a coach for like the high school.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do some research here. Let's see if like all these things match. So I looked up the school district in Tampa, and then I looked him up in the faculty directory. I found his name. We're gonna say his name was like Danny. Okay. I looked up Danny. I said okay, and so I saw his first and last name. I was like, okay, so he's on the directory. So maybe he is like a real person. Like maybe I'm just like freaking out. But there was no photo next to it, like no like photo directory. So I was like, okay. But he did say that he was a lacrosse coach for the high school. So I jumped over to the lacrosse roster and I was like, let's look at the lacrosse roster and see him on there. He wasn't listed. And I was like, okay. So then
that's like 3 flags, right?
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, well, what if I like Google searched him, his first and last name. I had it. So I Google searched his first and last name and every variation of any information he told me. Like he was from Austin. He went to school at like UT. He's
a Texas guy.
Yeah. And I was like,
supposedly.
And like he did open mic nights and like performed and like would sing and whatever.
Shit.
So I was like, okay, let me just like look up like country singer Danny, whatever his last name is, like, and like look up any information. I looked up on Instagram, like tried to find any variation of his name to find an Instagram profile, nothing. I looked up on Facebook, nothing. I looked at Twitter, nothing. LinkedIn, I went on LinkedIn, nothing. And I was like, what? Like, this is weird. This is weird. You have to have some kind of social media trail. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a social media trail. So then I was like, all right, you know what? One last try. Every school district has a Facebook page. And most of the time, all of the teachers will follow the Facebook page or be a member or something. So
this is crazy already.
I found it.
Keep going.
And I searched his, I found the Facebook page. I searched his name in the members. And I found his name, but it was not him. It was a completely different person. With like a whole family and like, but I don't think it was him that was actually talking to me. I think I was talking to a woman, and I think that they were using his like first and last name and like persona, and then using somebody else's photos in like videos.
So Marissa is a real person, or that was a real person, but it wasn't the guy.
I think I've been talking to a woman. I'm almost positive I've been talking to a woman.
Oh.
And so I'm like,
Sam.
I know. And I was like, okay, so, and then he like asked if I wanted, he or she, Marissa, I don't know, asked if I wanted to go to like dinner or something. And then I just like never replied.
I think that was like, the like, I'm going to let her know everything about me and all this stuff.
I wanted to so bad plan the dinner and then just show up in a disguise. Like I just wanted to show up in like a wig or something.
Dude, that
and
sounds
just,
like something out of a
watch.
TV show, to be honest.
It would have made a really good TikTok.
Honestly.
I wanted to show up and just like watch and just see like who showed up. Or
Right.
if nobody showed up, then I'd be like, all right, whatever. But like I just wanted to see who I've been talking to. And also, like I want to know who that guy is in those pictures that they've been sending me because he's cute. But I'm just like, I was so confused. I was like, what is going on?
They got everything that literally would like, this will turn her on. This will turn. Yeah. Let's just check mark all these people. Let's find this guy, a guy, and then send it to her. Yes. And then I'll impersonate.
He was like, I'm a country singer. I was like, wow. He's like, I play guitar. I was like, wow. He's like, I'm a teacher. I was like, that's a safe job. And then I was like, wow, this guy has all of the qualities I'm looking for. But one thing that he said though, is we only talked for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And one thing he said though is that he went to the Super Bowl, this most recent one. And I said, what teacher can afford a $6,000 Super Bowl ticket?
Right.
And I was like, oh, how did you get that ticket? And he's like, oh, my students love me. Like, they got me the ticket. And I said, that's not correct. That is not correct.
What I don't understand is I love the story. It is hilarious right now. Who in their right mindset would get all this fake information and go all the way through with that? And unless it was a joke.
I don't know. And you know what? It sucks because that guy was so cute. I said, oh my God, I just got bamboozled by this man or woman, Marissa. I kind of want to add them on Snapchat, or I kind of want to just call them.
It's like, hey, dude, great joke. Listen, let's meet up so I can like put you on my TikTok or something.
Can I star 6-7 and call them and just be like, and see who answers? Maybe I should have done that in my Catfish episode. I was Neve Schulman myself in my bedroom the other night trying to look this up. I was like, I'm gonna find out every piece of information. And for a second, I was
I'm
like,
not saying that's like psycho. Right?
It's not psycho. It's not psycho.
I didn't say it.
If the red flags were there, and I was like, I think I'm being catfished. I think it'd be psycho if I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to this teacher guy that I just met and I'm going to look up every piece of information on him right now. I didn't look any of those things up before. The second I got a weird feeling, I was like, something's off.
What was the weird feeling? Because I feel like from the get-go, I was like, this is a weird, like...
It was the picture that he sent to me on...
Oh, that was the weird feeling.
It had a Snapchat filter on it. And I said... He has Snapchat. Why wouldn't he just Snapchat me? And that's what got the gears like turning. And I was like, And I went full like detective sleuth mode. I was like, I'm gonna find out like everything I can. And I like just literally for the whole night was just looking up everything like a psychopath. But at the same time, I'm glad I did. Like, what if I showed up to this date and I got killed or something? You know what I mean? Like, what if like I showed up to this date and like it was just and I was like heartbroken and sad. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that I caught on and I like saw it and was like, I'm glad I've been crazy before. No. I'm glad I had crazy
Did I say
thoughts.
psycho before?
I'm glad I was crazy because
to keep going with
then
like...
I wouldn't know. And because I'm the type of person. My like thing is I always ignore red flags. Red flags just don't exist in my brain. They're like,
well, that's not an issue. Wait, let me rephrase that. I think in the beginning, I think it's okay
to ignore the red flags.
Not ignore the red flags. Just for me, once I acknowledge it, I'm like, oh, all right. Nah, I don't go like balls deep in it. I'm just like, it just doesn't tickle my fancy anymore. And so I leave.
I ignore them to the point to where it's like toxic for me. Like
toxic.
I had this one guy a couple years ago that I was talking to and he was going to go to med school. Okay. So I
don't know, the people in the medical field, I'm just like,
so he was like, I'm going to go to med school. Like he was like always like gung ho about it. And like, he literally would like talk about it all the time, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That's your dream. I support it, whatever. One day he came up to me and he went, babe, I have a really great idea. And I said, what's your idea? And he goes, I want to start a podcast with you. And I was like, wow, okay. Like that'd be kind of fun. I feel like we'd make a really good like couple podcast, whatever. And he goes, yeah. So what my idea is is it's going to be me and you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be reading you really smart and intricate science articles about like med school stuff, you know? And the funny part about it, babe, is that you're not smart enough to understand science. So you're not going to get it. So it's going to be me like educating you. And I was like,
I feel like that's a fantasy of his or
I
something.
said, I don't know if I like that idea. I said, I don't think I like that podcast idea at all.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. And he was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, no worries. But like, he like had like all these like red flags that I just ignored. Like another one was like, he played guitar too. And I remember one night I came over and he was like, babe. And I was like, what? He's like, I played guitar today. And I said, that's great. I'm happy for you. And he was like, do you want to hear? And I said, okay. And we listened to a 15-minute recording of himself plucking the guitar. And after that was done, like literally just sat there and listened. And after that was done, I was like, wow, that was incredible. You did such a good job. I'm proud of you today. And he goes, babe, but listen, I also took a video. So then we watched the video for 15 minutes.
This
And
guy sounds like a narcissist.
I sat there in silence and was like, okay, this is great. This is fine. It was awful. Like, it was so bad. Like, I don't think he's
what did it for you? Was it the music? It was the music.
It was the music.
But it was med school.
But he was still, it was med school. It was
med
music. But he still like did like this thing. There was one time where we were in the car and he was like, babe, he always did, I hate calling people babe now. I never, whatever. And he's like, babe, listen.
It's better than
what I want to do.
You say bro, but
bro.
you go.
And he's like, oh, I think you and I should do an open mic night together. Like, he's like, you're a good singer and I'm a really good guitar player. So I think you and I should do a song. And I was like, I love that idea. And he was like, okay, but you're gonna have to learn Spanish. Is that cool with you?
Dude, was he Spanish?
No.
He wasn't Spanish.
No, he was not Spanish. And I said, are you going to have to learn Spanish? He goes, no, I know the English parts, but you're going to have to learn the Spanish.
What song was he alluding to?
I don't remember. He played it in the car, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Well, one that goes from English to Spanish, that's the reason why. Was it a Bad Bunny song?
I don't remember what it was, but I was just like, what? So, like, I think with me is, like, my toxic personality trait is ignoring red flags. I am literally someone who's like, oh, you know what? They did something really shitty to me, but I'm still going to be like, I'm going to look over that because I think they're cool in every other aspect. That really sucked, but like everything else about them I really like.
Okay.
And so I think that's my toxic personality trait because I ruin myself with that.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, you know, maybe I should, you know, find a different route, but.
Do you feel like you were repeating the same route?
Not really. I feel like I've definitely gotten a lot stronger when it comes to that.
Okay.
And I definitely would not settle for someone like that guy ever again. I think I was only into him, or like I was very much into him because I was trying to get over somebody else. And I was like, anything that he says to me is perfect. I don't care if you tell me that I'm an idiot. I'm trying to get over this person, and you're giving me attention, so here I am. So toxic to myself. Like, this is like a couple years ago, and like I was so sad about somebody else that like having this distraction was better than having no distraction. You know what I mean? Makes
sense. I mean, that's, you know, it's a funny thing, and it's kind of like even alludes back to a little bit of the dating, the idea of dating and like dating apps and stuff like that, is that people just go on these dating apps just to get some like attention. Like they won't even like go through with any of this stuff. And sometimes, I mean, I'm just saying, like who was it that's telling me? They're like, they're just like, it's an ego boost. Like you just see like who swipes left and who swipes right, or who swipes on you, and just to see like, okay, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a little, whoa. Like it made me think of that, and I was like, well, yeah, because now people just want that attention. So it's if a relationship can't fulfill that, anybody will seek it anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely, with those apps, like I said before, like your options are out there. You have so many.
No, 100%.
And you could match with the hottest person you've ever seen, and then you'd be like, I'm so hot that I just landed that person, that I can land somebody else that's hot. Let's find
That's
somebody else
true.
that's hot.
That's true. And it's always a game.
And now
Like,
I have more
hate
hot
saying
people.
that. Yeah.
We have a hot roster going on right now. Like
Roster. And then,
this is my roster of hot people.
have you ever seen the awkward moment? That's what they talk about. It's like yeah, it's like a, think about it as it's like a spa for your cock, a cock spa. It's like that. It's like that's what they say. It had Zac Efron, Miles Teller, Michael, dude, A-list fucking cast.
Should I watch that movie?
I think you should.
Okay, I'll put it on my list.
It's so good. It's definitely like a rom-com sort of thing, but it's just like, what I liked about it is like it shows the bachelor life for guys. You know, it shows the perspective of like what guys do.
Yeah.
And so that's what's so funny. It's just like, obviously girls have their way of kind of like doing the roster, doing their thing. See, that's what I mean. So like guys have their specific way of doing everything. So, but
I participated in March Madness this year. Okay. And it was in this past year during quarantine, but it was Tinder Madness. And it was people that I matched with, and like I made legit rosters on not rosters. I made a whole bracket. And I was like, all right, we're going to narrow it down. And then I never made it all the way through because I was like, this is way too much energy. I don't understand how people can talk to like multiple people at the same time.
But that's the thing. The ball is already in the girls' court.
Yeah.
Like, the guys are the ones that are really like not struggling unless you're kind of like, all right, good looking.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that the good looking part is only going to go so far from the dating app pool. And it fucking works. Like, it works for them. You know what I mean? This is why, like, guys like, I would say me, it has to be confident and funny and doing all these other shit that the dating app won't do. Like, it won't portray all of that shit. Yeah. So that's what I mean is that, like, for guys, like, let's just say that are the specimens of specimens. They're like the rock hard abs, everything, like, you know what I'm talking about. What?
I hate those.
Dude, it's so fun.
Those are the easiest left swipe ever.
Really?
God, if you have a shirtless picture.
Puppy, that won't do it for you? A little puppy? Look, okay.
Shirtless picture, like mirror picture is your first Tinder thing. I say
the
goodbye.
Mirror.
I don't care how hot you are. I say goodbye because I know you're a bad person.
The mirror is all dirty in the background. That's what I'm like, hey,
clean
you got
your
some
mirror.
smudges. No, I see that in girls also, like, profiles. I'm like,
God,
next.
Clean your room.
That's so funny.
I mean, yeah, people's like Tinder profiles are so funny.
It's like facade.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I look so much hotter on my dating apps than I do in person. I say, oh my God, are you disappointed when they see me? I'm like, it's a good thing my good personality is a good substitute for how much I photoshopped my nose in that picture. So it's like,
remember that one? You said you photoshopped your hair, and I was like, Jesus Christ. The freaking lengths that people go to just to kind of like slim themselves or make them alter is the best word. Alter themselves.
I'm a model on Hinge. Okay, I'm a Hinge model. That's my agency.
Oh, so did anyone Hinge for you?
How's
that one for you?
I like it, but that's where I met the catfish. So it's probably not working out the best way.
I don't know. I guess they're really trying to make it the Bumble and the Tinder like Hinges, but I don't know if it's working. Yeah, like for a lot of people, it didn't even like. I don't know. I didn't get as interested in that one than I did the other two. Yeah. So that's why I was like, is Hinge working or no?
Well, the thing is like, I think for right now, for me, I'm hyper focusing on a career that I just don't give people the time of day. The time of day.
You're like, fuck it.
And like, it's like Hinge dates that I've been on have been really funny. I mean, they're valid like dates. Like they're kind of like funny. Like fun dates, but like they're also
what's funny is that you said valid dates, like they're real people, they're not a catfish. No, I went on with this guy and he was really great. Like we went to Disney Springs and that's cute.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, like getting to know him, whatever. And I don't drink liquor at all. It's just not for me. Like I don't drink tequila. I don't drink liquor.
I've drank with you before. What is it?
I don't drink liquor. I only drink beer.
You just drink beer. All right, I'll kudos to that.
And
I was like, wait a minute.
So we went on this date and I ordered like a beer or whatever, and then we went to this other place after, and we went in and he was like, we'll take 2 margaritas, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't. I was trying so hard
To drink
not
it?
to gag while I was drinking this margarita. I literally was like, I had the straw in my mouth, and he was like, how is it? And I was like, it's great. It's really good.
While you're trying not to throw up in your
I drink these every day.
What's
But
so bad about it? Especially
I think
margarita.
they're so bad. And he
Is it
was
just
like,
too sweet?
yeah, I think it's too sweet, and like I think with liquor I had too
All
much
these
fun in
bad
college.
memories.
So
you get that one sense of that one that made you throw up, and you're like,
and you're like, I can never
listen,
touch
whipped
that
cream
again.
vodka is the one for me.
Ooh, Pinnacle Whipped.
I
It's
fucking
so good.
hate it.
I
That
like
and
that in Jello
Fireball.
shots.
Oh,
Oh, Fireball.
dude!
no.
Every time, who makes the Jello shots at the like our little swart? That's you.
That's the only time I drink liquor is if it's in the form of Jello shots. That's it for
Sure.
me. Because I use Pinnacle Whipped, and it makes it so much sweeter, and it makes it like a candy.
See, that's me right there. Whenever I'm like, this is delicious. And I'm like, fucking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great though. It was good. Thanks.
Well, yeah, we tried. But anyway, so I'm like out here trying to like drink this margarita, and I'm literally gagging. And then like he was on the date, and he was like, so like, what about kids? Like, when do you wanna? And I went, like,
I don't think that's something you. Well, maybe like the first couple of dates, but not. Was this the first date?
This is the first time I've ever seen him in person.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's a. This
and-
dude's in a rush.
I was like, he really wants to have children. And so then we went on another date at Animal Kingdom, Disney Park date. We went on a Disney Park date.
They're pretty good.
And
I like them.
there were like little things that he was doing that kind of like made me mad
Like
or
what?
like irritated. Just like little things that he would
Let
say.
the guys know. See what they.
Like, this is like corny, but like he would say like really corny things. Like,
Was he-
and
was he
I'm
trying to be funny?
I'm corny, but yeah, he was trying to be funny, but it just wasn't it. And like we were on the ride, we were on Dinosaur, and he is a ride talker, which is not something that I can't do it. I can't do it. And but he wasn't like quoting like, let's go get that dino. He was like, oh my Lanta, look at that giant giraffe. What is it? I almost just said giraffe. It's not a giraffe. Look at that T-Rex. Like, how are we gonna make it out of here? Like the whole ride. And I was like, okay, like, this is really weird. Like people, like families were turning around, like looking at us, like, are they good? Like, is he okay?
Yeah. But this was the second date.
It's his second date.
Okay.
And we went to go get food, and he didn't like. Not that.
Oh, let's get on that subject. Come on, bring it out, bring it out.
He didn't offer. I probably would have paid anyway, because typically I do pay for a lot. Like when I go on dates and stuff, like I'm
old fashioned, so I understand that. But see, like, I respect somebody. I tell any guy, I'm like, dude, you always have to offer. Like, that's the first thing. Like, I know the whole 50-50 thing, and it's okay, but it shows like, hey, I'm willing to spend money. It shows that I'm willing to, take you out, make you feel okay about what I'm doing. But then if she offers, okay, then at that point, you feel like it's okay at that point. Like, it's okay to keep going, because obviously she's opening up to say, actually, let's split it. But see, that's what I mean.
Well, it was like second date, he didn't offer, and I was like, you know what, it's fine. But like usually for dates, like I'm the kind of person to where, okay, like I'll offer like when we're like at dinner.
Okay.
But usually with like my dates, I like to go somewhere else after dinner, like to a bar or something, and I pay for the drinks at the bar.
Okay. So
that's my thing. It's like you pay for dinner, I pay for the drinks after.
That's okay. So let me ask you, what's your ideal date? Because I'll tell you mine, and that's kind of like alludes to what you're saying.
Ideal first date would be something that we can like actually like move around and like walk somewhere. Like even I take a lot of my dates are at Disney Springs, like my first dates.
Let me
because you
take
can
the
walk
boats.
around.
I take the boats. I go to the French Quarter.
You get the beignets.
Here's the thing. I love banter. I love banter. I love the idea that it's like, oh, competition. Let's see what you can fucking do. That's fine. All right.
Okay.
So there's a little arcade, and I worked at the French Quarter. So I was like, let's see what this girl's got. Let's see. I want to push her buttons just to see how far before I'm like, all right, let's go get a beignet and cool you down, because now I whooped your butt in air hockey, and all right. But there's like a little photo shoot thing. There's like it's really cool banter. You just get to know the person that way, especially on the first, second date. And what you were saying is that you want it to be multiple places, because if you fit a lot of places in one date, it's like 3 dates in one.
Literally.
Literally.
Crazy.
So it makes whenever the girl goes back and starts talking to the girls, and they're just like, so how was your day? Like, well, whenever you include we, it's like a good thing. So we went, and then if you say he, it's like you're already alluding to, well, he is not you. You're not including yourself in the fun.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, and it's like I found more success with that than ever. So Disney Springs is always a good idea.
It's a good
There's
one.
always
One of my favorite date spots is in Mount Dora. Mount Dora has the most perfect date spot. I actually went on like literally the most perfect date like probably like a month and a half ago. And we went to, it was my idea to go to Mount Dora because they have Wave, the sushi place. And if if you can try different foods with me, like I'm here for you.
Okay, so I'm okay.
And so we got to Mount Dora, and typically it's like an hour or so wait to get into Wave.
Right.
So beforehand, we put our names in, and then we walked around the town. The town has like so many small businesses. There's a little art galleries. There's little small coffee shops. There's small like hidden breweries.
Right.
So while we were waiting, we went to 2 different breweries, or like brewery, like small shops. And then we walked around like an art gallery, and like all the drinks before dinner, like I paid for everything. Because he was getting dinner, so I was getting drinks. So it's like
Did you clarify that?
No, I just always assume.
See, and this is where I use the banter thing, like, because if she beats me and she it's like, all right, if you beat me, I get the next round or something like that.
True.
You know, so it makes it easier for like, oh, I already have this set. So like, I don't know if that was like, did he get a second date?
Oh, a few.
Good. I was like, and he did good.
He did really well. So I mean, it was like honestly one of the most perfect dates because like he was very open to trying different beers and like very open to trying different things at the sushi place. Like if you can try different sushis with me and like different kinds of food and also different kinds of like craft beers, I'm so here for it.
The breweries, man, the best one.
It honestly is like one of those like picture perfect dates.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You walk around town and like you just like see like just I don't know, you watch a sunset. Like it's just a beautiful spot to be in. So that is like my ideal date town. Like if I go on dates with people, I want it to be on Mount Dora every single time because it's just so perfect. Mount Dora is so beautiful.
I'm trying to think of where this place is.
It's like an hour away from Orlando.
Is it downtown area? Like up there?
It's on its own lake. I don't know what the lake is.
So is the brewery that you're talking about Tactical?
They're like, I don't know. I think they don't brew their stuff there. I think they do it somewhere else and then import it. To
okay.
It's like there's like a hybrid coffee shop brewery situation.
Oh, okay.
Which is like my dream business to own. And honestly, it was just like perfect. Like if you're able to like just chill around with me and like even though we had an hour and a half wait to get into this restaurant, like I'm glad that you're not sitting there like impatient, like when are we gonna go? Like, when are we gonna get in? When are we gonna stop? So like we were upset to leave the bar to go to the date or to go to the food because we were like, oh, this is like we're having a lot of fun on all these other places.
100%. Yeah.
So that like was pretty much ideal for me.
Okay. I wouldn't say there's a generic way to put it because I think it varies from person to person, I guess, you know. But I think the objective to date is just to go have fun. And like love is playful. This is the best way to put it. So whenever you go, just don't like over rush it, I guess is the best way to put it. And so like that's what I mean is like, okay, so the guy went on the like I think you get to really know somebody after like the third or fourth, fifth date, kind of like, what are your politics like? What are your what are your religion? Do you want to have kids? And see, that's like I don't know. I think it's perfectly good to go on dates like with people, by yourself, like not by yourself, but like by yourselves. I think that will really clarify like if you really get to like actually know the person really well. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about keeping all of your eggs in one basket?
What do you mean? What do you mean while I go do something to the camera?
Are you the type of person who will keep your options open until that person like wants to commit, or what do you do?
I believe in having a lot of wives and.
Go.
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. Okay, restate that question again.
Like, how do you? Are you someone who would talk to like multiple people at the same time until you narrow?
Oh,
it
like
down
an
to
open
something?
relationship sort of thing. I'm not opposed to it. I've done one before, but it all goes with maturity. Like
Yeah.
it all depends on just if both parties are okay with doing it, and if
Yeah.
not, it just depends. There's a lot of how would you say? It's not open to everybody. Everybody can't do it, and yet when people see it, everybody still kind of like looks down upon it. So there's a lot of shamefulness and hiding when it comes to it. So even then, it's also just kind of like you're really trying to really get this battle of really loving more than one person, but also displaying it. So you have to. It's so hard. You can't. And look, just because I've tried it, I've said I'm not saying that I don't know everything, but it's just like you have to understand yourself a little bit more. That made me understand who I was a little bit more. Yeah. So like any person that says like a relationship is there to kind of make you understand a failed relationship. And it's not, no relationship is a failure, but it, like, let's just say you're not together anymore. You learn something from it. You know what I mean? So if that clarifies your question, I really don't know.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I think for me,
Yeah, what do you think?
I am someone who I like to dedicate my time to one person.
Okay.
And sometimes I shoot myself in the foot with that.
Look,
because then it's like, then
right.
you get into those relationships where, with that guy, like a couple years ago, like, he was talking to a couple of people at the same time as me. And I'm putting my energy to you, but he's putting a piece into her, a piece into her, a piece into her, a piece into me.
See, here's the thing, and that's why I said it goes back to maturity.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, the same thing. Like, when you're in a relationship, I think you're dedicating yourself, and you're making a status there. Like you're pulling a staple. That doesn't mean ownership. That doesn't mean, like you own this person. This person's all yours. It doesn't mean any of that.
Yeah.
But what I mean, it also is like why I pulled the same question, in that like you're going to be attracted to other people. Yeah. That's always going to be there. And it doesn't matter if it's mentally, physically, you just acknowledge it. And you honestly, it's all about open communication at that point, because at that point it's like, okay, like, yeah, like I would look at somebody, or like I wouldn't look at somebody, just depending on the person. Like, what are you talking about? What? Yeah. What are you? She wasn't looking at me. What? I wasn't looking at her. It's just like people get defensive, and there's a reason why people get defensive. Yeah. It's like they're hiding something.
I think like for me, like I said, like I'm cool with people if they want to keep their options open. Just like the biggest thing for me is being honest about that. True. And saying like, hey, like I think you're really great, but I'm also talking to a couple other people, just so you're aware. Because in my brain, then I can be like, okay, so I'm not going to put 100% into this person. I'm gonna kind of focus on me too, and this person will be there.
Okay.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. The only reason I say that is because you've been in situations like that, and so have I. And what I can kind of clarify is, I think, as a guy that's like just dating and just doing the bachelor life, this is the whole reason why like guys, whenever they get together, they kind of, that lifestyle isn't for everybody. But yet I feel like once you get out of that lifestyle, you start realizing, okay, yes, I think I like to spend a lot more time with this person than I do all these other people. Yeah. So it just depends on like the likability, the compatibility. It's just, can you get along with this person for like amounts of time and be okay with even the silence, the silences, the idea of like, yeah, you're going to get tired of them, but that's like whenever you live with the person. I don't know. I can't talk about that one because I don't know. I have, but I'm not going to talk about that. But that's what I mean, is that like, I think you're right. It like goes back on like communication and everything like that. Let me ask you, do you feel like there's the concept of the one? Happy Valentine's Day.
No. I think you can fall in love multiple times.
Exactly.
I think you can think that you found the one, but
Or
there's multiple.
Yeah, you've fallen in love before, so.
I don't think the concept of the one is
Real.
a thing. I do think though that it's hard to kind of narrow down with people nowadays because like people don't want to commit. Like a lot of people don't want to commit and don't want to settle.
True.
And don't want to put the label on things. Labels like make it so hard. You can meet somebody who you think you guys vibe amazing. You know, like you think the same way and you like go feed off of each other kind of thing.
Of course.
And maybe that person doesn't want to commit and like doesn't want to put a label on it.
Okay.
And like then that's where you hit that roadblock of like do I continue with this person with like the possibility of getting hurt even though I feel like this person is someone I could like be around with for a while. I have a different feeling with this person. But am I going to use that like of like them not wanting to put a label on it for me to back away and be like, "Oh, never mind, I don't want this."
Okay.
With like do you risk that? You know what I mean?
Love is risky.
I know.
Yeah. That's the best answer that I can give you. But I mean is that you got to put yourself out there. Like, and I mean that for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just like, if you don't clarify that you really like this person, then you're just going to walk on eggshells for the rest of your life.
Oh, gosh.
And it sucks. But it's like that risk, honestly, the more, and this is why I say, guys, just go fucking ask the girl. Go fucking, if you get fucking turned down, oh fucking well, there's another person that will fucking, or guys, whatever you're fucking into. I don't know. But what I mean is that like, you really just have to put yourself out there. And that's in anything, honestly. But what I mean is that it takes those failures, honestly, to kind of like make you think, what do I have control over that I can change? And then from there, you can actually start, okay, I think this worked a little bit better than this worked. And it all goes on confidence. Like what I respect more about myself and I see in other people is like, you can keep a sort of discipline to you, who you are, and like you can keep that, and also you can pretty much be like as confident as you can, and that can like shine to other people. People can see that. People can see that confidence, and I respect those types of people. I'm like, I want to be around those people. Like those are the people I'm like, yeah, those are the people I like because they make me want to do shit. I feel like that's the kind of vibe that I think people should really need, especially there's some people in this world that just, you know, obviously are like super attractive, super this, but when it comes to your energy, are they like on the same length as you know?
Okay, so my mom, after I had gotten like dumped by that guy a couple of years ago, my mom sent me a book and it was called Why Men Love Bitches. I have that book and I read it. I did. I feel like there's a question. My mom doesn't believe that I read it, but I did.
Oh, okay.
And it's about how girls should be in relationships, which a lot of things I do agree with and some I don't. But it's kind of like one of the biggest points they made is like, do not be available. Do not be readily available all the time.
Okay.
But it's like, but then you think, you're like, okay, how am I going to let this person know that I like them and that I want to spend time with them if when they ask me if I want to hang out, I'm not doing anything tonight, but I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but then in some cases like that, I mean, that kind of works. You know, you don't have someone who, like a guy doesn't have a girl that's too clingy or, you know.
It takes compromise.
Yeah. So it was an interesting book for sure, but it was like talking about how like you shouldn't put all of this energy and everything into this person in the beginning, because like if you put too much, they're going to think you're dependent on them and they're going to think that you're like clingy and like crazy.
Don't get me wrong.
Which I think is correct.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you've had those situations. I think if you have sex the first time and then like after like the first 3 to 4 times you actually meet up, you get bored of the fucking person. I hate saying that.
Really?
Like if like on the first date is what I mean, and y'all like first meet up, think of it as like a Tinder date. When you go and meet with the person, right? There's already a set thing you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So when
That's
it's
true.
when
It's
it's
Tinder
like
for you.
it's like you're kind of it's like feel like a bunny with a carrot sort of thing. You want to tease. You want to like go in there and just let's see how bad I really want this guy, and let's see how bad he really wants me. And
Yeah.
it's that I respect. And
Yeah.
like, okay, the good example. Not all guys can do that, and there are some confident women that can do that and that can bring that out of a guy. Perfect example. One of my good friends, she was asking me, she was like, how do I know if a guy likes me, or what can I do to kind of like get his attention or something? So one of the best things that I told her was like he was eyeballing her at the gym, and then like it was like, well, why doesn't the guy just come up to you? What the fuck? Like, why? It was like, what's wrong with him? And then I was like, wait a minute, he probably is like not confident in himself yet, but she likes him. So I was like, okay, so a lot, and this is like old fashioned, like a lot of the mistresses back then were super confident, where they would get their little hand wiper, whatever, little tissue, drop it. Excuse me, miss, did you drop this? And it fucking worked.
Yeah.
And it was just it shows, it brings that out of the guy, and it's like, I'm doing something, but oh, thank you, I did not see that.
A very nonchalant.
Nonchalant,
Like,
but see, that's what I
didn't
mean.
mean to.
Exactly, but you meant to, like,
Yeah,
you know
you
what I
totally
mean?
meant to.
Exactly.
I think girls think that way too, though. There's so many sneaky things we do
Oh,
that like.
I'm gonna say 1,000% on that shit.
There's
Like,
so many sneaky things we do to put the ball in
yes.
their court.
Ooh, what
or
do you mean?
Make them think that they made that decision. Like, you know,
It's
they're
the same.
one that wanted to do that. And then the guy feels a little bit more confident. He's like, yeah, this is my idea.
Right.
When really it wasn't
Right.
your idea. It was my
Exactly.
idea. I just tricked you into thinking it was yours.
But see, we're not gonna say that to each other. Like,
Oh,
y'all don't say that.
no.
You're just like, yeah, you just like let them have the fucking win, whatever.
Yeah.
If it's a win,
Let them have the
let
win.
them have the make them feel good moment.
Yeah.
And it goes vice versa. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's this book that completely, me and Chase were reading it, and that's what kind of changed his whole mindset on how he looks. You know, Chase, the one we hanged. Yes, Chase. Shout out to Chase. He's great. Anyways, he read the same book that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know about this book, but it's funny how it's a book that kind of like gets you to open up a little bit. That one was like how to, you know, it makes you look at like, oh, I didn't know that sort of thing. How to be a 3% man. And that doesn't mean like how to be like a 3% of a man. It means that the top 3% of whatever, they get pretty much, I wouldn't say whatever they want, but they got to that sort of status. And that also is like sort of in a relationship. It made me understand relationships, like love is playful, all this other stuff, you know? And I think guys need to do that a little bit more. Like I put a lot more pressure on men than I feel like I do, because I think it's also up to them to kind of like make sure like, hey, it's a compromise thing, bro. There's sometimes where you feel like, okay, I can take ownership of this. The same with the women. Like, they have their own thing. Anyways, but yeah, it just goes off of that. You know, you feed off of one another. So I think that kind of like plays an effect to the person you're with.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, the compatibility stuff, I don't know. Like, I don't know, like zodiac signs, the
Your love
freaking
language?
love languages. I think they play an effect a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I love I don't know which love language this is. I don't know if it's acts of service or something. But I personally love giving people presents. Especially people that I really like. If I like a guy and he says something once, like, oh, I really liked that t-shirt at Epcot, I'll think about that. I'll be like, that's what I'm going to get him for this. Like, and like months later I'll have it and it's ready. And I'm like, okay, yep. I know what I mean. Like, or I had one who, like, he lost his like grilling tongs or whatever. And he's like really upset. And he was like, oh, this sucks. Like, blah, blah, blah. I got him customized grilling tongs with his name on it.
That's fucking dope. Honestly,
So like,
even like
I
for a
think
guy, like I was like, oh, that's awesome for a guy.
Yeah. So like I think of like these little things that like you'll mention something very like nonchalant, just like quick. And then I'm just like,
it sticks in your head right there.
I'm like, it's in here forever now. Congratulations. That's what you're going to get
You're
for
important.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like with me, my love, I definitely love like just like giving people things. It's kind of hard when it comes to like,
What is that? Acts of service then?
is that acts of service?
That's what I'm trying to figure
What
out.
are the love languages? Do we
It's
know?
it's 5. It's worth the Google.
Is it 5?
It's worth the Google. There is 5, I think. Maybe there's now like 15. I don't know. But
I don't know.
let me search them up. But
The love languages?
yeah.
Oh, you can put it up on here?
Yeah.
That's
It's a new little
crazy.
addition from.
Good thing you know how many weird
Dude,
things in your
I don't
Google
know
search.
if you saw my porn, I'll be like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know what I would say.
Did you Google my name today? No, I'm just kidding.
Samantha Longton for
Google me.
what is it?
Love languages.
Love languages. Language.
The 5 love languages.
It's 5, right?
Yeah. Is it 5?
I think
thought
it's
so.
5.
Yeah, it
There's
is
a
5.
test.
Wait, isn't that love language? Oh, we're gonna take a test. Quizzes. Just what are they? Discover your love language.
No, usually there's like the people ask thing, and it's usually right
5,
here.
right there. What does that say?
I don't know. I'll say. Let's see.
Words,
words
of affirmation. Oh,
affirmation.
that's one for
Words
sure.
of affirmation.
That's one for sure.
Bye, Victoria. Have a great day at work.
I think the only thing that the thing with words of affirmation is because of my past with like these really awful people that I had
Right.
dated like a couple years ago.
You were like, I hate this.
I am not super trusting when someone says that they like me.
Mm.
I'm like, they don't actually like me. They don't like me at all. They don't like me at all. They don't think anything. And like I think that's kind of like toxic. Like I was recently talking to somebody, and like he would say like, oh, I really do like you. I really do like you. And then part of me just didn't believe him. And I'm like, maybe it's just because like the past people that I've been with like would say that and then totally not mean it at all.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to feel like I'm going to like him too, because then he's not like it. What if he's telling, like not saying it? So words of affirmation is so important to me
I
because
agree.
like, please tell me that
I
wake up in the morning and tell me you're
yes.
thinking about me
Yes.
or something, because if you don't, then I'm going to think that I'm just, you're just going to get rid of me,
Did you want to get the 10 conversation starter?
Oh yeah, I'll bring that on my next date. Yeah, like I love,
No, and that totally makes sense. No, I think it takes like some very bad trauma to make you understand that people want to be loved, and that's a great way to be loved. Like, I think it's just showing that like you would do things for that person.
Yeah.
You take them out. I think that's like one of them, and I think words of affirmation was like the second one for me.
I think my
Acts of
biggest is like,
service.
that's me. My biggest thing is I'll say like, my like word of like my like words of affirmation, like a quote that I do is I always say like, I appreciate you. I don't know
Right.
why, but like
No,
I
that's
just like
that's-
appreciate like you and like everything that you do.
Yes.
And like that's like my way of being like, I like you. But I
Yeah.
don't say I like you, I just say I really appreciate you.
Yeah, that makes a heart like skip a beat, honestly, for me. Honestly.
I'm like out here.
Yeah. Freaking. Okay, so you're
receiving
receiving gifts.
Oh wait, but
that's,
I'm giving gifts.
yeah.
Receiving gifts.
Okay,
I'm
that's
like,
a little bit more. Like, I feel like not a lot of people are in that sort of.
I'm not.
But if you are in that one, if you like to receive gifts, and you love to receive gifts.
Well, that's the thing is like I don't care how
That
much
one- that one's
money.
mine.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't care how much money.
That's my first one.
You have, or like what you can give to me, like in terms of like tangible items. Quality time is like super important. But like when it comes to like, I don't care what you do for a living, and if you make less than me or you do like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. I think as long as you're there and you're like saying that you like me, I'm gonna treat you. I will treat you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
See,
I'll be the sugar mama.
here's the dilemma with that, and I love that you brought that up. A lot of guys feel like that's demasculating.
Interesting.
So
yeah, I do.
Do you understand what I mean by that?
I do understand that.
So I that was a good point, and what I mean is that it kind of we're hitting this little like I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing where it really does pressure a lot of it puts a lot of pressure on women to kind of like step up on the plate and do what they really are seen to be doing, and they do a lot of great things with that. But it's also shining light on men to say, hey, it's okay, it is fine if you not all men are created equal. That's a big thing to understand, is that I am not a 6 foot basketball player, 7-foot basketball player. I am a Hispanic. Like I'm not even a soccer player. But what I mean is that every man is different, just like every woman is going to be different. So when I started understanding that, I was like, okay, does that also mean like when it comes to like pay and stuff like that? Because it's traditional for the guy to have like to get all this like to support and be the provider, be this, and you know, I like that it's shining light on that.
Yeah. And I don't need that. I don't need someone to support me. I'm a very independent person. Like
Right.
I like to support myself and say like I dated someone and he got a new job and I took him out to dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but I think I think we're talking in a perspective of us now. You know, like I think if pretty soon you have kids, compromises are going to be a little different. You know what I mean? And so it goes back to like your mindset will change once after you have kids. Or it should change. I think it should be changed to that. I think Tom Segura said that on a comedy special, and it's like it should change. There are some weird ass like grown-ups that are still kids. They're man-childs, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. But that's the. I don't know what you think about that. I don't know why it feels like that it's demasculating, but yet there's a sense of attraction for a guy that is making money, that is doing something for themselves. But that when you ask a guy, here's the thing: when you ask a guy, what are they attracted to? You can get an over summarization generalizing, but when you ask a girl, and you ask a lot of girls, they don't know. Like they don't know what's they like. I watch a lot of these little projects and like all of these little I don't know, the experiments that they do online and stuff, and I see there's a lot of things that would attract a woman or would think is attractive. You know what I mean? And for guys, I don't know, it just doesn't take a lot for guys. It's like we're very easy, but yet for the women it's like we're fucking complicated for some fucking reason, and vice versa for like that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the thing. I do think I do agree that sometimes if I was talking to my friend the other day, and she's a very successful woman.
Do I know her?
No,
Oh, okay.
she's from New York.
I don't know her.
And she's very successful. She's doing an amazing job. She's drop dead gorgeous, like one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen.
That's intimidating
And
sometimes.
The thing is she was like, I don't understand. Like, she's like, I have all of this going for me. I have my job. I have like my like life, and I like everything is like perfect.
Right.
And she was like, and I still get like screwed over by these guys who literally are not, don't bring anything to the table. You know what I mean? And I told her, I was like, you know what I think is, in her case, I was like, I think, you know, people are just very intimidated by very successful women. And some guys can get very intimidated by that. You know what I mean? Not all guys, not like that's not a blanket statement. Like I know a lot of men who like support.
How dare you say
independent
that?
women.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
But I do think that is a thing that there are men out there who get intimidated when a woman is successful.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, well, they don't treat her with the respect that she should have.
Okay.
And like it like scares them away, and like they like kind of feel like a little bit more like it's
new.
Yeah,
it's very new, and you know, I can see you being that very confident woman, like and not saying that in a bad way, but you're very successful, you know. So it's I wouldn't even say the pull is like it's slimming down or anything like that. What I'm gonna say is more like how would I put this in a way to make me sound like an asshole? You will level up, so you're gonna find a lot more leveling up people. But yeah, it's kind of like I think anybody of any sort of set, if you start improving yourself, you're gonna want to be around people that are improving themselves. So I think that goes hand in hand. Yeah. What's hard is that a lot of guys will look at that and say like. They would say pretty much like, oh, dude, it's just, I don't know. She's always busy. You know, like it takes a guy to understand themselves. And obviously like not a lot of guys do if it per se, like, I don't know, she's super successful, making a lot of money. I don't know what guy wouldn't flock on that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, but at a certain point, they kind of like, do I want this for the rest of my life? And I think that's kind of like, it makes him feel like purposeless.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand. Like I said, like for me personally, I am very independent. And I'm very confident with where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that is like intimidating to some people because, you know, like I know what I want to do with like my life, and I know where I want to go and everything.
Hell yeah. That's fucking like, that's a confident, I don't know. That's a confidence.
We
That's
are
awesome.
confident.
Yeah.
And so it's for me, it's harder. It's harder finding somebody, who not matches, because I'm not looking for anybody.
You don't
who
want
matches
somebody that.
I don't want.
Yeah,
someone who matches
exactly.
that.
You want some. Honestly, this is why I'm gonna go back to physical touch. But like, what intrigues me a lot is someone that doesn't know how to fucking dance. You know how much I'm a dancer, right?
I'm not.
But it's like it calls for like, I have a purpose. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel like I know what to do. But that's why I love it so much. It's just, obviously someone that's a great dancer is going to be a great dancer, and I'm going to dance really great with them. But I don't know why. It just makes me feel like I feel good when I'm like, let me take you out to the dance floor. Come on. And then I like take them in, and I'm like teaching them how to dance, and I love that feeling.
Yeah.
But in a sense, what I'm saying is it's like, honestly, they never thought dancing would be even in their mindset. Obviously, that's like something that's different, way different than what she's used to. But it's that difference, that sense, like that women fawned over, like they want to go and do different things. They want to go, and so that I think finding somebody that's like a super like that, or is the exact same, I don't know if that would attract. I don't know. Like maybe it would. It just depends. But it's also like you just learn from the person. You learn like, oh shit, there's like so many different things. So then from there you're gonna start like growing and start, oh, I don't like this. I like this, but I don't like this. You know, you start kind of figuring all that stuff out. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that kind of gets, I think it doesn't get a lot of attention, but a lot of people, I would say our age, wouldn't take the risk to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of dating.
Yeah.
Or if it's just the rush to just get some sort of staple already. Because people, that's what fear is, like the sometimes a deciding factor of like, I need to get in a relationship because I don't know, you can chime on this. Is it time also a little bit? Like a female's body and a male's body. Do you feel like that's difference when it comes to like, you want to have kids and sort of all that stuff?
No, for me, I'm
asking questions. That's all I'm doing.
Want to adopt my children in the future. So it does not matter to me what age I am when I have children, because even if I'm not able to have children when I'm older,
right,
that wasn't my plan anyway.
Oh, okay. So
it's
like the options are there, is what you're saying.
The options are there.
Yeah.
I could have my own children. It's not in the plans. I think I wouldn't be like distraught if I wasn't able to. Yeah. Just because me personally, like I've always wanted to adopt. Right. It'd be great to have my own children. Right. Like that'd be cool. But I think if I couldn't, I'm not gonna be like upset. Right. Because then I can still give another child who doesn't have what you know,
essentially what you had, or
what I could give to them, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it's kind of like, for time doesn't matter for me. Like, I'm a huge personality person. Huge personality person. If you have a good if you're confident, you have a good personality, right? Like, and like I don't care what you do then. Like, if you are like funny, you can make good jokes, you can like vibe really well, like that's cool with me. Like, I don't care. Right. I don't care what you do for a living, and I don't care what, like, I don't care anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I am like a huge, like, if I can like vibe with this person, have like a good personality, like mix with this person, right, then that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with that. Like, that's fine. 'Cause you know, like right now we're still at that age where people are still figuring out what they want to do. You know, like, how am I supposed to find somebody who's my age?
People feel like they need to find something there. Yeah. You know, they need to have that figured out. Yeah. So like, that's a great way to put it, honestly, because people need to know, like, their 20s, it's not late. Like, if people
Yeah.
think it's like, I have to have it by 25, 26,
No.
27, 20, all the way to 30. And then there's, just yesterday, someone that was working with me, like, 30 is a scary number. And I was like, I mean, if you if you see it that way, yeah, like, if you already have that in your mind, you're definitely gonna, like, find the cons on everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just depends, and it just depends on the person. But do you want to be around that person at that point? Because I think it just depends on the person at that point, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And at that point, I'm like, no, your mindset, I don't know. I want to go skydiving, and I'm going to go skydiving. And that's how it got brought up. And it's like, it's just the perfect time to do it. Like, I'm just too scared. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you just find people that will do it.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. Let me ask you one thing.
Okay.
The idea of you pretty much actually kind of question, can guys and I mean men and women just be friends?
Yes, 100%. Oh my God.
Let's
Yes.
clarify that, because
Yes, they can.
I think it goes on like other things, but
I've had a lot of my friends are guys, actually. And I don't mean to say that like a lot of my friends are guys. I like genuinely mean it. Like, I have a lot of really good guy friends who I will call and I'll talk about like relationships that I'm having, and they give me the advice. And there's never been any like sexual tension or anything. Like, we're just pals, you know? Like, I think every school phase I've gone through, I've had a close like guy
Male
friend.
yeah.
So like when I was in high school, I had like two. So I had Sean and I had Slater. And then when I was
Slater's a cool name.
I love Slater. And then when I was in college, like my
Right.
first 2 years of college, it was Durgan. And like he was one of my best friends.
It's a weird name.
I love Durgan. Durgs, he's cool.
Reminds me of SpongeBob, like saying "Inga dinga Durgan." I'm sorry,
Durgan.
Durgan. You know,
And
you're
then
probably a cool guy. I don't know.
when I transferred to my university, my close like guy friend was Cedric. And then now like one of my best friends is Dalton.
Yeah.
So it's like I've always had a guy in my life that nothing will ever happen between us.
Right.
And nothing has ever happened, to where like I can call them and just like talk about like my whole life, and like we like vent to each other about like our own relationships and stuff like that. And they're my friends. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? So I completely
I feel like, yeah, you
that
went straight into it, because I feel like you've
yes.
gotten this question a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like,
But I think they can. I think it's hard if like, I think the only time it's tricky is if you have, I think it's tricky if you're trying to become friends with someone that you dated. That's where it gets tricky.
I think it goes in a sense of maturity. You know, you're not going to be talking to this person a lot anymore. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that one. Also with kids, like, you know, they have to kind of keep that connection for the kids. I think that, but keep going.
My parents are divorced.
Okay.
And my parents still hang out. Like, they're still friends. Like they have like all of our like family dinners are together.
Okay.
Like, it's my mom, my dad, my stepdad. Like, it's our crew. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We do like Father's Day, we have a big barbecue and we have like everybody there and like whatever. And then like sometimes, one time my dad texted my mom and he goes, "Hey, I want to go camping this weekend and I really want to bring a dog. Can I bring your dog?"
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "You want to take my dog for the weekend camping?" And he was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay." And so my dad took my mom's dog camping.
Okay.
Like, with him. And like, it's one of those things where like, yeah, that could be like, that can work when it's like like divorced parents, like being friends. That's perfect. But I think if it's like something where you've like hooked up with someone, or you had like really strong feelings for someone,
right,
and those feelings didn't really get closure, you can't be friends with that person.
Oh, do you hear that?
You
can't.
The one who like dumped me, I could never be his friend again. No matter how many times I've been around
But
him.
he dumped you.
Yeah, but I never got like that closure.
Right. So it's
So
always
like,
that what if. So this is what I mean. It's like, if you're the one being dumped,
yeah,
maybe it's a different story.
There was one situation that I was in that I was like seeing someone, and he and I like, it just wasn't there. I really liked him. I thought he was a really awesome person, and I really enjoyed spending time with him. The only thing is just like something was missing, like something just wasn't there, and I decided to give it some time and try to see if something would happen and if I would feel that way. And then I just didn't, and I felt so horrible because then I had to like end things,
Yeah.
and I felt so bad. And now
It's a risk.
He said
it's a very big risk.
never wants to see me or hear from me ever again. So that's the thing. Like sometimes you just can't be friends with your exes. But then I'll have some that I like that I can kind of be friends with, like, but I'm not gonna put like pressure on that friendship or relationship. It's just kind of like a casual, like, hey, hi, bye, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be completely blunt with this one. I think what goes on through every guy's mind is sex.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yes, and it's
That's
the same.
huge
And
one.
it's the same thing with women. Trust me. But what I'm saying is, I think that's one of the deciding factors a little bit.
Yeah.
Is like, yes, there's a reason why you want to hang around attractive people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hang around with like not attractive? Like, and he even saying it like that, you know, it's just kind of like those are some things where you're like, you're going to be nice to everybody, but who are you going to be spending time with?
Yeah.
The people that make you look good.
That's true.
Yes. And it's like one of those things for guys to kind of be like, you know what? Let me see how, is this a little shade? Yeah. But guys, I feel like don't care to the point where they'll do whatever they can to try to like, you know.
And that's a thing that's one thing that like bothers me. Is
It
like,
does bother women. It's not just
you.
It's not just you. Trust me.
But that's the thing. It's like, if you just want to hook up, just say that you want to hook up. Don't be like.
But you don't know, because then what ended up happening right there with that whole relationship.
With that whole thing.
Yes.
He just
but
wanted.
see, like, I don't know. I don't know how to clarify to a guy, like, if there's a relationship that's stronger than just the sexual intimacy, I think that's worth still exploring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my best answer with that.
But the ones who are like literally like that relationship I had a couple years ago, like it's like why what didn't give me closure was like the fact that he was like, you're so different, you're better than everybody I've ever met. You literally just like saying everything that I wanted to hear, and like would just like embed in my brain. And then I remember when he asked me out, and like he was like, I want to be your boyfriend, whatever. And I was like, are you sure? Like, are you positive you want to do this? And he was like, yes. And then the next morning I was like, are you sure you wanted to like ask me that? And he was like, Sam, of course I did. Like, you're incredible.
Guys
you're
are
amazing,
so
blah,
good
blah,
at
blah.
this
You're,
shit.
You're so, you're so
this.
perfect and in every way. And I'm like,
man.
okay, I just wanted to make sure, because you know I just didn't want to go about this the wrong way. And sure enough, 1 week later, he's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
He got what?
I was drunk.
Look.
And I said, oh, you were drunk when literally for the past 3 months, you're telling me every day how much you wanted to be my boyfriend. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. And then finally I'm like, okay, yeah. And then a week later, you're like, I think I was drunk when I said that. No, what? No, you're not drunk. You're just psychotic. Like, that was just crazy. Like, that's a crazy thing to do. To trick somebody.
Yes, that was a fucking asshole. But what I'm saying is, that was a good con artist right there. That's all. That I will give him credit for, because once he got it fulfilled, not by per you, somebody else, he was like, you know what? I don't need to be doing this anymore. Then he kind of like would go in a different like angle with that.
Oh, and he pulled the whole like, it's not you,
it's
me. He was like, I just don't want to be in a relationship right now. I don't want to be and then 3 days later I started dating a new person, and they dated for like 6 months, and I was just like, I remember that happening, and I was like, that didn't give me closure either, because I was like, okay, so he's gonna tell me that it's not me. He just doesn't want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
But he's gonna start seeing somebody else 3 days later. And then I was like,
a little sketchy around there.
I don't know if I like that. And I was like, that was a little crazy of him to do. Like, that's a crazy guy thing. Like, okay, guys think that girls are crazy.
No,
but
guys.
that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that is crazy. That is fucking crazy. But see, and that's the thing. Like, a guy that is all he embedded in was his looks, totally have a disadvantage later on in their relationships.
Yeah.
So then they settle for somebody that is more of the I say what I want you to do sort of person.
The dependent.
Yes. And so which is sad. Like people that weren't attractive whenever they were younger have a better advantage because they're the ones that can actually shine better. They're the ones that can actually like, I have a character to myself. I have this sort of, I have emotion. I have all this other shit that I had to like perfect or get better at.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, they came from here all the way to here on their looks. They came from here to here on their personality, here to here to like everything. So they leveled up. So it's like, you don't get that a lot, especially when it comes to like people, the specimens of the world. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're great models and shit, you know, you're great models. But when it comes to humor, god damn, you suck.
Oh, I was a very ugly kid, and I think that's why I'm so funny today. Thank you. I think that is the sole reason. I think my Crocs and knee-high socks with my pigtails. I didn't even wear a bra. Okay, I didn't wear a bra until I was like, oh God, I think 8th grade. So instead, I would wear like camis with like built-in bras. But like obviously that wasn't enough because like I'm whatever. And so
and you're like,
I would legitimately be pulling, like I would wear like 3 or 4 camis at the same time. And like I would be like so puffy because like there's just layers and layers. I looked like the Michelin Tire Man, I swear. I literally was like, you could literally poke me and like still not feel my body because I have 8 layers. And I'm out here skipping down the hallway and like with like
do
my
you notice?
and I'm like and then eventually one day I was like, wow, I shouldn't do that. Let's like cut that. And then, you know, eventually I became funny. And then I was like, you know, I had that really funny personality when I was skipping down the hallway. And now I, you know, improved, I think, immensely.
But
on,
see,
like,
in that adds to the overall like why people think you're attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people, they're like, oh, she's fun. She has, I can be around her and know that it's not going to be a boring sort of like, yes, exactly.
Good time. So corny.
I was trying to figure out that song. I was like,
I'm
what?
corny.
Well, Sam, we have reached an hour and 40 minutes now. Dude, it goes by.
Who do you think? Do you think if you made it all the way through this, thank you for listening.
I'm a podcaster. I know how to listen.
Oh,
I know how to listen.
If someone wanted to listen to me for the past hour and 45
Was
minutes.
that you venting? Holy
shocked
crap.
by you.
Was that you venting? Jesus Christ. And that was only 2 hours? I'm sorry.
That was
guys,
a 2-hour vent.
You know.
You learned about all my issues.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
You learned about my love life issues.
Well, it is Valentine's Day, and this is a Valentine's Day special. So we hit a lot of great points that will or will not help out any of these people. We don't know. We will not know. But we will know, actually. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see who listens to it. But honestly, what is the best advice that you can give any of those, I don't know, ladies and gents, if they are listening? What would you say to them?
It sounds really cliche, but take care of yourself. Always. Always take care of yourself. I don't care if that's a bubble bath or booking a therapist. It's literally you take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Because if you level your mind out and you feel like you're doing great and you have like that perfect like mindset going on for you, you're going to find somebody who would be able to match that.
Yes.
And, you know, that's like the one thing that I stress is like, just make sure that you take care of you first. It doesn't matter like how bad you want love, you take care of you. Because if you give that love that
love is first.
Yeah. If like you were supposed to, if you give that love that you're supposed to give to yourself to somebody else and that person leaves, then where was that love that you're supposed to give to you?
And there you go.
It's gone. So just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
There you go, guys. Mine is going to be, for guys, go get a haircut.
I'm out here so inspirational.
I know.
And you're like cutting your hair. If you don't cut your hair right now.
I'm saying that's a big confidence booster for a guy. You know, image, I hate saying it, is not everything. But if that's what's kind of lacking in your department, if you're already a funny guy, but you're lacking in that department, come on, go change your style. Go to the store. I'm not saying to go to the thrift store. Honestly, I love thrifting. Go check out some of the stuff like Goodwill. Doesn't matter. You change your look. You peacock if you want to call it that. It's great. Anyways, what I'm saying for the ladies out there, drop that handkerchief, help out that guy. Some of those guys out there are not that confident. We're all trying to find love and be loving, and all that self-love does say something about the person. And if you love yourself, that is gonna attract a lot of people.
Love yourself. That was a song I just made up.
I was about to say, like, I'm snapping, like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I keep the beat.
Love yourself. That's all I can. That's the only lyrics I have.
Oh gosh. Let's make sure not put you on a. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm a singer.
Singer songwriter. Sam's new album is coming out pretty soon. We're gonna have a link down below for that. Link in the bio. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode. A very special episode is going to come out Valentine's Day. So keep a lookout for that. Thank you for tuning into the Slice of Life podcast. I will have all of Sam's info, where you can find her TikTok, where you can find her Instagram. Guys, go support this woman. She is working her butt off to create content, do all these great things for you guys to do in Orlando. Pretty soon she'll be going out in the world, and I'll be like, I know that person. She was on my podcast. Yes. So, guys, we'll see you later. I got to go to work, and she's busy, I think. So.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a good time.
All right, thank you.